My name is Rhapsody and welcome back to Iratus, Lord of the Dead. Alright, I'm not certain whether I'm going to want to use the rest of these Architect's Souls that I have left over, the 34. Not that I could use them at the moment in order to do this, but I'm not sure if I would use them to expand the capacity of one of the buildings that I currently have, the Arena Mortuary or Iratus statue, or I'd throw it into the library. If I'm throwing it into the library, then I've handily already made a Dark Knight, which makes it look like I already made that decision, doesn't it? But I actually still was making that decision by that point in time.
It's akin to trying to quell hunger with breadcrumbs.
Thank you, Iratus. We'll let the zombie heal up in the mortuary. It is now level 2, and I think I'm actually going to be taking the exact same party back out yet again. Party consists of Commander Kronos here in the front line, followed up by Drew 1, PKT the first, Neo the first, and Ballard the first, leading up the back line. And then I ultimately decided that I am going to go for Amateur Surgeon, especially because of the part limitation I'm finding for the parts specifically for the Bone Golems. And the Bone Golems in particular use two bone and 2 skulls, so I have to find a lot of extra parts in order to actually be able to quench the constant thirst for those, especially considering bones and skulls are also used in the making of the mummy. So happy? I think we just go immediately into the next battle. Right? Yeah. So we can get a single vampire from this battle, which is also cool. I'll probably wait until I'm about to make someone flee before I actually use the Blood Curse anymore, just because the negative chance for my enemies to crit is pretty important. What are you doing? Stop! You can't just constantly hit the same unit. That's so rude. Alright. Need to get rid of all of the luck on this hunky. So crit chance is actually ridiculous right now. Maybe a Splintering March here. Yeah. Just trying to stun some enemies just to buy some time for my other golem to continue healing itself. Alright. Yeah, Drew, it's... Ooh, good miss. Could have lost Drew right there. That hunky in the backline might kill Drew right here. Well, I'll try and stun them. Hey, it did! Okay, so they don't actually get that action. I could go self-destruct right now, just throw away Drew. Drew is only level 1. Unfortunately, like, the miner would take no damage to that. Feels like I'd probably try and keep Drew alive then. Also, by the way, the Artificial Hatred apparently does stack. I could only find a vague forum posting about it though, so I can't guarantee it. I believe it does stack though. Okay. Got him. Well, at least got one of them down. I think we probably will end up losing one of the Bone Golems in this combat, but I'm okay with it. Splitting out the damage, eh? Interesting. I think splitting out the damage is actually a lot better for us, right? Just because hopefully the enemies start swapping back and forth in terms of the target they go for. And if they do that enough, maybe they don't prioritize the same target long enough in order to get one of them dead. I don't know, maybe it could happen. Crazier things have. It is going to require these enemies, like, not critting at all. Which they've shown an affinity for. Oh my god. That's Commander Kronos. We definitely can't have that one die. Drew heals up and goes forward. Alright, if that didn't kill, I was actually going to throw out the Chain Lightning as well to try and guarantee it. Amanda Kronos heals up as well. God. Fine, go for the debuffs, all you like. Alright, so the miner no longer has any block. At the very least, we have the ability to deal with that. It does look like I've now reached kind of an equilibrium with these enemies in that I will be able to heal both of my golems all the way back up. I suspect that is the case here. Unless, like, some really lucky crit stuff happens. I should be able to heal them both back up to full. Oh my god. I'm so glad that I didn't throw away Drew earlier in this combat just for a little bit of damage against the unit that died, like, one row afterwards. That negative luck is also making it really unlikely for that enemy to do anything here.
Crimson hunger.
In terms of critting my characters. Oh my god.
First mistake. Opposing me?
Incredible! Look at all the HP we're gonna get coming out of this combat. No other action I could have done there. Definitely didn't want to kill them though, so I shouldn't have even rolled that.
A step towards my eternal kingdom.
We already have the ability to level someone up to 4.
Serve me well, my minion.
Who goes to level 4 right now? Who does that? Although I also have the ability to go to the Steely first, so we'll do that first. 200. Yay, it says 200 rather than 400 experience now. Good. So this has actually been nerfed, I think, then, because it used to say 4... No, it used to say 200, but it would give you 2 levels. Does it still give you 2 levels? No, it just gives you 1. Okay, so that has now been fixed. So the Steelies are now less important, unfortunately. I feel like that was something that I found was broken and then very quickly glommed onto as like a, ooh, this is a way to get a little bit ahead of the power curve kind of strat. There's an elite demolitions expert in that enemy party. Let's talk about elite demolitions experts for a moment, because demolitions expert, this is the enemy that we have seen a lot of the time before, right? If they get to the front of the party, they have a stance called lighten up. And if they get back to they skip their next turn, but the turn after that, if they're still alive, the stance can't be cancelled, they will kill the units to the left of them. So both of the units to the left of them. So you can push the demolitions expert to the back of the party and have them kill their entire own party. It's really cool. Well, not entire own party, but some of their own party. I had a lot of people comment after I dealt with a demolitions expert saying, hey, you can throw them to the back of the party, Ryan, did you not know that? But the demolitions expert that I was dealing with at the time was an elite demolitions expert. The elite demolitions expert is different in that if it triggers lighten up at the at the start of its actual trigger turn, it kills every unit on screen, not just the 2 to the left. Every unit. So that's why, specifically with the elite demolitions experts, I always try and have a plan to keep them away from the front of the line or to kill them really, really quickly. So that is why I sometimes deal with demolitions experts differently and sometimes don't. That is relevant in this fight because there's an elite demolitions expert there, which is bad news. There's also an elite, like, guardsman as well. I don't know if I can throw those 2 bone golems into the fight, is what I'm saying right now, right? I'm trying to figure out where I get an extra bone golem from. Because I can go for a zombie in line 2. Right? You can throw Drew up in here, starting to heal. This arena definitely should have been holding the vampire while I was doing nothing, but whatever. Oh no, I just got that vampire. That makes sense then. Still, someone else should have been able to stand in there. And then the final resources to create a bone golem we already actually have. I'd have the ability to give it immediately a large brain as well. We could have like a 2000 IQ bone golem right here. I know it's 40, but Let's go with the meme status of the 2000 IQ Bone Golem play. Yeah, I think I do that. The only problem is, like, how do I get the Elite Demolitions Expert never to be in the front line? The only way I can do that is by using Neo and Ballard to hit everyone that isn't the Elite Demolitions Expert. Right? So Neo and Ballard are just constantly striking the units behind the Demolitions Expert to pull them forward. That's okay. So we have a strat to get rid of the Demolitions Expert initially. What happens when the final two units are the Demolitions Expert as well as that Elite Royal Guardsman there? Because I'm almost certain that this Elite Guard has a stance, I think it's called the offensive stance, that moves them backwards one space. So if we have a turn where the enemy party is only Elite Guard and, you know, Elite Demolitions Expert, then the Elite Guard moves backwards. The Elite Demolitions Expert can move afterwards because the initiative is only one higher, right? So it's easy to invert that order. And then the Elite Demolitions Expert gets its turn off, kills my entire party, I lose the campaign, and blah, blah, blah. So, how do I protect against that? Well, I don't know, is actually my answer to that. I don't really know how I'm going to deal with the Elite Demolitions Expert in this upcoming combat, but I also don't know how I would ever deal with it. Like, constantly keeping a unit ahead of them is interesting, but those units die while I move those units ahead because the Agile Grasp. And most of the damage that we deal is using Agile Grasp, so it gets them to the front line. I'm worried about that Demolitions Expert. I don't know if I have the kind of party to kill them. I guess one way to do it is to have the zombies stack the trench loading buffs and then just cannonball. I think that actually might be the only way to get it done. All right. I'm going to make another Bone Golem. I'm going to put him in the front line, and I'm going to give him level 4 brain.
Necromancer's war machine looks like.
I think most important, I give you extra HP as well as the extra ability to crit.
My enemies are in for a nasty surprise.
Can't miss with this attack and dies after using it, or has a 50% chance to resurrect after the battle ends. I probably don't want that. That feels like that's just going to be too much of a loss of resources to constantly use. I'll be back. Bone Ward. So this gives us a ward and a block until the battle ends, and we lose 25 vigor in order to gain it. Probably go for that. Right. Every 6 points of vigor the enemy is missing, or... Oh, hang on. Onslaught. Onslaught is interesting. Onslaught. Any position pushes the enemy target back 2 spaces. This gives me the ability to move targets backwards. This is exactly what I was looking for. I have to take it. Beautiful. All right, I've now fixed, hopefully, all of the problems we're going to encounter in that next area. So I should be comfy to go out. Unless I am making the excavation hall here, I should stop. Yeah, I should stop. Okay. Inhale. Exhale. Let's go for the fight. This could be a pretty difficult fight. I think it's important that I took the time that I took. Enemy's already starting to move forward, so I can onslaught them to move them back. Go backwards. Yikes. Okay. I think the easiest one to get to run away is the conscript, but I'm also just, I don't think I'm worried about anyone running away in this combat. I don't think that's something I'm interested in doing. I think I will use Chain Lightning here on the first turn as well. I think this is basically as difficult as non-elite combats for us on this floor get. Good. Just to immediately remove someone from the turn order. Love it. God. Can you not go for those turns, please? Yeah, have to start targeting the minus sooner or later. Ooh, nice. Wish I could crit straight through that right now. Unfortunately, don't have a particularly high chance to do so. Damn. Chain lightning would have been useful there as well. God, I hate that the enemy has all of these miners up against my party that's actually using blocks at the moment. Yeah, there's the offensive stance. If they had the ability to move backwards there, I'm pretty sure they would have. So I'm going to be pulling that elite guard out of their offensive stance next turn anyway. But if I leave the elite golem, like the elite demolitions expert on the field too long, that's going to be a bad idea. I have to start fighting the elite demolitions expert here. Zombie wait so that I can pull this person out of position so they don't have their turn thing going on. Damn. Okay, and then finally, so it looks like I have a chance of dealing 56 to 64 here. It's a large amount of damage. It could theoretically crit. Okay, well, it could have hit as well. That actually would have helped. I am so annoyed at this zombie. It's done absolutely nothing this combat except for eat loads of damage. Just so much damage. Stun him. Never mind, didn't stun them, just killed the target that I explicitly needed to not kill. I think I might end up actually losing this whole party as a result of kind of how bad this has been going. Hey, if only you hit the first one as well. Maybe it would have actually mattered. There's no way I stress out the elite demolitions expert before it kills our whole party. Gotta try.
Hope there will still be enough left to reanimate.
At least it has less luck now. Oh, never mind. That crit might have actually got us to the point that we can still live through this fight. That crit might have did it. Again, just trying to look to get these stacks of stress up on the enemies. There we go.
One less annoyance in the world.
Straight for the kill. I mean, I start trying to heal back up here, and then I just have my mummies do the rest of the work. Yeah, enemy has negative 40 luck right now, so I should be able to just, like, you no longer have any sanity at all. You've got cowardice, so you actually might try and flee. If only that was still useful for me. 111 on that crit. Neat. Armor absorbs all of those hits. Unfortunately, none of them... Oh, one of them actually looked like it was possibly a crit there, but it did no damage, but it still did stress damage. Interesting. Because we saw the enemy took 5 stress after all of that had resolved. Enemy dies. Yeah, I actually get to keep all my party members. That is incredible, especially considering there is actually a healing space in the next location. That is absolutely incredible. I actually get to keep all of these party members. I'm going to throw Ballard in here rather than take... Sorry, throw Ballard out here rather than take them into the healing, because I don't think they need it. Because Ballard can just sit up there in the back line and be totally fine, right? Okay, so we've got a new Bone Golem as well as a Zombie, each of which need a name now. Zombie, you are... Mons, the first of your name. Commander Kronos, you've already got a name, so Bone Golem, you should probably take one. Disnomia, there we go. Eventually I learned how to spell. Alright. Back out of the mortuary, Drew. Guess we can throw No, we don't throw Ballard up there. Ballard is part of the party. I don't know what I was even possibly thinking there. But you definitely go out there. This vampire with a level didn't really matter to me though. Iratus statue. Start getting more vampires more quickly. Fine. I use a vampire to create it. Sure. That makes sense to me. Use the low level one just in case we end up using these as like excess members for party. Alright. So back in this, we've got the consumables of losing 20 to 30 vigor, ignoring wards for a one-time use, and negative 15 accuracy on all enemies until the end of combat. I save the accuracy one definitely until the boss.
Through transformation, the will becomes free.
I'll also definitely be taking the Scalpel Surgeon Expert Precision? Whatever it's called, the thing that I just took. Ring of the Cruel Leprechaun. Critical hits by minions and enemies deal 30% more damage. So interestingly, like that's both good and bad for us, right? It's good because eventually we deal way more damage. It's bad because we're in good always wins. So the enemy's already, like, the worst thing that can happen to us already is an enemy critting. So increasing the damage of that by 30% is pretty rough. And a lot of the time, I have to spend a while working down the enemies before I start getting through their block so that I can actually start affecting their luck. Maybe late game when I have more mitigating things. So like if I have a lot more block and ward on my characters, this is a lot more useful because I guess the critical hits that get through are still the same because they still get through the block and ward, but the attrition game is less dramatic. It's interesting. We also have the Vagrant's Rags, 10% chance to find consumable after battle. I think that's pretty weak considering all things that you can have in that slot. And then the Cannoneer's Garb. Destruction spells deal 20% more damage. Now, ideally, I am supposed to be casting spells. However, no. Yes, we take that. So why do we take that? I think we take that because this is technically a destruction spell. So it does 20% more damage now.
Undead features.
So what, 20% on 40 is, to 5th of 40, it's 8. So it's 8 extra damage on the low end and 4 extra damage. Sorry, 4 extra damage on the low end, 8 extra damage on the high end. Yeah, it's a little bit worthwhile. We should probably now take some extra talents from the destruction tree so that we can actually justify what we've just done. But that said, it's worth noting the Power Fist is like more powerful than a lot of these destruction spells. So we're going to want late destruction spells like deal 25 physical damage, additionally deals 200% physical damage if the target is debuffed. So that's a really good one for us because we debuff our targets constantly. So going down this line in particular. There's also Skullfall at the very end, 20 magical damage to all enemies, setting them on fire, doing damage over extra turns. This tree also has advanced ballistics in it for giving zombies extra accuracy, dread, attack, and initiative. Considering multi-attacks later on as well, I don't know if zombies are actually going to be what I want at the front of my party. Love My Hands Bloody is pretty good as well. Love My Hands Bloody would make it much more likely for me to use my spells in battle. And we're clearly building towards that with the increased construction of the Iratus statue over there. All right. So this has a golden golem. Sorry, not a golden golem, but an elite normal golem in it. So an elite stone golem. You have 21 armor. That's a problem. That's a problem. So 21 armor on an elite stone golem is a little bit of a concern for us. If the elite stone golem is the final enemy left on the field, then I can still just definitely out-heal them, just constantly going for artificial hatred and stuff. And eventually that will allow me to kill the enemy because I will have so much extra damage for crit hits and the crits will be guaranteed. Because the elite golem, the stone golem rather, in the front two lines hasn't got the ability to target anything past our front two lines. So both of ours, our mummies are safe to spend as long as they want in the fight. So I think actually I'm fine for the fight. I think just ignore everything except for the golem as long as possible and then go for the golem. That's going to be less functional when we get to an elite squad that's all golems, but yeah, we'll deal with that then. I think I deal with the Taskmaster first here. No extra resource. No extra resource. Let's go. Just making sure that I wasn't wasting any extra resources here. It's fine. Okay, I think taking out the Taskmaster really early is going to be important here because unless the Taskmaster is dead, I can't heal with half of my golems. Oh well. Kind of want to try and throw the golem to the back of the line. Push. There we go. Because then I know all it has access to on that turn is buffing itself and moving itself forward, and that's just buffing its accuracy. Okay. Stop spanking me! I mean, I don't really need any extra vampires right now, so I can use Chain Lightning. Yeah. That feels to be the case. Good shuffles constantly here for us. Good. All right, that's a really early kill there for us.
Looks like. Yeah, pathetic.
I think I do need to, start fighting that miner. At least we've lowered some attack from you. Unfortunately, it's the miner directly behind the stone golem, so it's the most annoying one. Thankfully, bone golems now have the ability to start healing themselves up. Stop redirecting my attacks! Like, I'm glad that I'm hitting these debuffs on you, but I need to be hitting the miner. Yeah, good miss. Probably for the rest of the fight, like, it's just bone golems healing themselves. Yes, good. So a lot of these battles are going to take a lot longer than any of the previous battles we've seen in the series. Well, most of the previous battles we've seen in the series. See, as we set into an equilibrium like this is what I'm talking. By the way, having to skip a turn there was actually really brutal. We could have possibly ended up losing a unit from that. I'm really sad about it. Yeah, I'm just going to kill that unit in order to make sure that I don't have to deal with him later. But we can hold this kind of equilibrium against, like, a lot of enemies. So what that would mean is that getting the unerring evil tree is actually really important. I thought it wasn't, and yet it is. But I was finally going to have a build that got away without having to go for it. I say that like I don't relish it. Those hits are cruel. Speaking of that being a cruel hit, by the way, I'm going to use Impending Horror in order to move myself forwards. reason. Just don't want a certain bone golem to certainly murder me. Ooh, good hit. Okay. I'm gonna... You have access to Bone Ward from there, but you die if you use Bone Ward. I'm trying to think what we do with respect to Disneymere, right? Because if I kill the miner right now, well, I mean, I can't. I don't actually have physical ability to do that right now. But if I attack the miner in some way right now and move Neo backwards, then Disno goes forwards and heals themselves. They heal themselves by 25 on that turn. 25 gives them a total of 33. Which means the Elite Stone Golem, if they targeted, could kill my Bone Golem next turn. Or I can just leave them in that position, not have them heal, not have them move forwards. Oh, I know how the turn goes. We actually wait twice here. Yeah. Gives me the ability to see more of the turn. Then I agile to kill you.
Part of the breathless tide.
Great. I'll unstun this character using the absorb curses, as well as heal a little. And then have Disneymere heal at the start of their turn. And then you can heal again right now, but I think actually what you do is Bone Ward, Bone Armor. Because then you are not... Oh, hang on. Target gains 2 block. Oh, never mind. Someone else Bone Armors you. Actually, that's not going to work, is it? No, Commander Kronos is going to have to heal as well. That's fine. That's fine, it's fine. I just moved myself forwards with Neo in order to, you know, do the same thing we did last time. Just skip a turn. Good. So eventually the luck of the enemy is going to be so low that we're constantly critting. That's all we're aiming for here. Now, the Bone Golems will eventually join in on the fun, but not until after they're not constantly hurting.
Antediluvian evil comes for you.
I think we have the time to wait for that. Yeah, enemy has negative 55 luck right now. Nice. Like, even with the crits, the enemies aren't, you know, posing a threat to 165 vigor. Although we're not currently at that, to be fair. I'm pretty pleased. Like, I pretty much called my shot on how this fight was going to go. Like, I couldn't be more pleased with how it's gone. Pretty much exactly what I was hoping for. That's annoying. Unfortunately, I don't have the ability to absorb curses to remove that debuff.
Rot their flesh and their soul.
Okay. Landing a second attack on that same target is a little bit concerning.
Antediluvian evil comes for you.
It's fine. It's totally fine, but still.
Extinction of life.
Yeah, we're now critting every single hit, by the way. So I'll Bone Armor the other Bone Golem. And then start cycling absorbing curses. So now only if I'm crit do I actually lose a unit. This gives me the ability to try and heal up the rest of these entirely before I leave the party. I just want both of my bone golems pretty heavy and pretty healthy going into the next areas. Okay. Especially if I had a way of stripping the buffs from the enemies so they would have 20 less accuracy, I would already be done here. Like, the enemies would have hit me so few times. Good block, good block. Okay, now I think I can get away with just like one more cycle of healing. Great. And now we go for the kills. Hell yeah! I mean, this does just eventually overwhelm stone golems. It's not going to be able to do that if there are 2 stone golems on the field at the same time.
My will is a tide that will wash away your pathetic civilizations.
We would probably need a lot more accuracy to do that. Ooh. Interesting. So the enemy squad is entirely elite. That is a problem. They have an elite miner, so they have the ability to chew through my bone golems pretty easily as well. That's a concern. They've also got, backing up the party there, the Taskmaster is elite as well. It's the elite headman is the main concern here for us, right? The elite headman specifically because we're going to have to use onslaught to constantly push them backwards. It is exactly that reason. Because if they are in the front line and they can be moved there, but if they are in the front line, we're just going to have a really bad time. I may want to use the negative 15 accuracy just because all of these enemies connecting their shots is so dire. Bundle of Dynamite is okay, but when we kill a unit, it's not like... The rate at which we kill units increases over time, right? So I start out and I'm just hitting the blocks of the enemy, then I'm hitting their actual face, then they're debuffed enough that I'm starting to hit crits constantly, and then they're dead, right? So having something that just takes the top 20 to 30 vigor off of the enemy it's not a linear, like, 20 to 30% of the fight over against an enemy with 100 HP. Just because of the way our build runs and the way that it gets running. So I think for that reason, Smoke Bomb's going to be far more impactful in that elite combat. That elite combat is also asking me to go in with 2 level 2s in my party still. 3 level 2s, no less, in fact, in my party still. That's a little bit of a concern for me, I'll admit. Yikes. If Drew was level 3 by now, I'd feel a lot more comfortable because then I would have access to 2 onslaughts. Gives me the ability to deal with the enemies a lot more reliably. I think we do go with the smoke bomb. Okay. One concern that I have going into this combat is that those are all really, really heavy physical damage hitters. And that it might be prudent for me at this point to give, like, either Disneymer or Drew or even Neo or Ballard, right? Just, like, a little bit of armor. Drew and Disneymer in particular come to mind. So how do I get a little bit of armor, especially if I don't yet have Transplantation unlocked? I have the ability to unlock it, but I'm definitely not going to have the ability to, you know, just, like, build good bones and good skulls and put them onto my bone golems and stuff like that, right? So in lieu of that, let's have a look at the extraction and see what we can get from that. So we can get 2 armor and a still random perk, and that only takes armor, right? Yeah, it only takes armor in order to do that. So I could get 2 of those and put those on each of my frontliners there pretty happily, in fact. We can also get extra evasion, initiative, dread, ward, block, resistance. It's just those that I care the most about right here. So we'll get 2 steel spikes.
The smell of successful alchemy.
So starting turn in the first position, you get 4 Wrath on Iratus, triggers up to 3 times. It's pretty good. Starting turn at 4, yeah, we're never going to be starting our turn at 4. You'll take that, and Diz, you will take this. So that's a little block. Yeah, I definitely don't have the ability to upgrade their actual internal equipment right now. I think we have to do it in the next episode. This episode is already 40 minutes long, and while I hate leaving on, like, larger cliffhangers, and this is already a really slow-paced game, even when it's not just me going through 3 combats in a single episode. But that elite squad is going to take a long time, and starting it at what is usually basically the end of an episode seems like a bad management of time strategy for me. For the moment, my name has been Rhapsody. The name of the game has been Iratus, Lord of the Dead. Hopefully you've been enjoying yourselves, and hopefully we'll see you next time.